Hello and welcome to Penny Stock Analysis and PennyStockAnalysis.com, your go-to website for video stock analysis and video education. For today, our stock is AGIJ. The company we will be analyzing today is the Axia Group Incorporated. They are on the pink sheets under the ticker symbol AGIJ. And their website is www.axiacorporation.com. Upon going to the website, you will notice that the company is involved in skincare products and medical skincare procedures. They have some groundbreaking products that have done very well with the recent trends in the move towards natural therapies and natural products within procedures. So, given that the baby boomers, especially 78 million of them, that should be retiring or working less within the next 20 years, and the same goes for Canada and much of Europe, we do expect some great things in the industry moving forward. As with all the videos that we make on PennyStockAnalysis.com, especially in terms of stock analysis, today in particular with Axia Group, we begin with our typical daily price chart and our typical daily volume chart just below it. The great thing about this is that it's easy to compare and see where there is a good resistance level. So as you can see by the two green circles highlighted, one on the price chart, one on the volume chart, is that there is a plateauing effect taking place right now in the price of Axia Group, and that has been highlighted by a higher than normal average daily volume over the last 2-week and corresponding period. So that's why the green circles are there. It should be easy enough to see. And the other very important factor you should notice is that since February of this year, as compared to the previous 3 months, there has been a lot more investor awareness with the stock of AGIJ. That is a good sign. It means there's more people following their company, their news, their stock, and in general, that is a very good sign moving forward. Moving on and moving forward, you will notice on the top price chart that I have superimposed these two red lines, and what those red lines are known as are Bollinger Bands. And so the theory goes that as the Bollinger Bands come together, it's almost like there's a building of pressure. And as the lines expand, that's a release of the pressure, and the price can move up or down, depending, of course, on certain news, volume, and other fundamental and technical indicators of any stock. So, as we can see with AGIJ, there has been a very long period, believe it or not, of this pressure building and a narrow trading band within those Bollinger lines. So we should be able to reasonably say that there will be a very strong price movement in the near future. Again, it's backed up a higher than normal volume, especially over the last 3 months, and it seems to be a very good trend with some strength moving forward, that there should be continued awareness on the stock. And so with that said, we'll move on to our next indicators, which should signal some very clear opportunities to investors. On to our next chart, and still with the Bollinger Bands on the top, on the daily price chart, we have on the bottom a momentum chart. And you'll see 3 red circles on the bottom. And what are those highlighting? Those are highlighting the points at which the momentum line has come very near to touching zero, but never passing it. And there's always been, especially in the last 6 months and even over the past year, if you expand the chart, a resistance on Axia from passing zero. And what's even better is if you can recall the previous volume chart, there is more than enough volume, especially recently over the last 3 months, that there's resistance on the stock. And so we can see the plateau again happening in the third red circle on the right on the momentum chart. And as that plateaus, we should expect to see a rise, obviously corresponding with a rise in price. So as you probably guessed, this is a momentum chart. So as momentum line swings upward, there's generally more strength and more upward pressure on the price of Axia. On to the final chart of the day in our video analysis of Axia Group, AGIJ, on the pink sheets. We see a relative strength index, which is just under the top daily price chart. And if you have watched our previous education videos, you'll know that the relative strength index is a chart used to help you, the investor, find good positions and times to buy a stock or good positions in time to sell a stock. So we notice that there is a green circle highlighted on the relative strength index chart, and the reason it's green is because this is a good opportunity to focus on this as an entry point. The relative strength index has fallen tremendously, and it is in fact just below 20, which is typically considered the buy zone. So when we combine this buy zone time with our momentum chart, which has leveled out, and our volume, which is much higher in the last 3 months than before on the stock of AGIJ, and especially in the last 2 to 3 weeks, with volume showing a resistance, a floor on the stock, and with the Bollinger Bands close by, I think it's just a good opportunity for AGIJ to move upwards very strongly. To recap the stock analysis video today, our stock was the Axia Group Incorporated. They are trading on the pink sheet under the symbol AGIJ. And we looked at the volume chart, Bollinger Bands, momentum chart, and relative strength index to come up with a good analysis of AGIJ and if it's a great time to buy. So what we have concluded is that the relative strength index is in an oversold position, so it may be a good time to buy into AGIJ. The momentum chart is starting to plateau and move upward, and the same goes for volume and the resistance it is providing at the floor on the price. So we should expect good things in the future moving up, especially with the recent news at their new trade shows and new revenue programs and new products which have been widely accepted with great reviews so far this year and over the last year. So with that, we think AGIJ is a good buy at this time, especially given our video analysis that you have helped us through today. So for Penny Stock Analysis and PennyStockAnalysis.com, have a great experience investing.